Last year we had revenues of 154,000 and we had expenses of 156,000. So that means I'm just right in the vicinity of breaking even. I don't even make a profit, but as far as I'm concerned, it's essentially even. And I employ 4 women at my shop who choose of their own free will to want to work at my shop for right around minimum wage. And nobody's forcing anybody to do anything. And if the minimum wage were to go up 60% in one fell swoop, my salary expenses were $33,000 last year, and my self-employment costs were another $5,000. Increasing that by 60% adds another $24,000 of expenses to my business. So instead of having $154,000 of revenue and $156,000 of expenses and living to fight another day and hoping that the economy turns around and hoping that this business can continue to be a positive presence in Gig Harbor, all of a sudden it's just a loss. And the women that work for me won't get a $15 minimum wage. I'll be out of business and they'll get a 0 minimum wage. And that is what the city council does not seem to understand. They cannot do that math.
Hi, my name is Boswell. I am not a business owner. I am a restaurant worker, and I just wanted to tell my story of why I oppose 15 now. 15 years ago, a little snotty-nosed brat with no experience walked into a restaurant, a really nice restaurant in New Jersey, looking for a job. That snotty-nosed brat was me, if you haven't guessed. And they gave me a job at $6 an hour, a very low rate, plus tips as a busboy. And I worked hard and I learned. The managers noticed me and promoted me to server, and I kept on working. I come to a job here where the owners were so nice that they paid me. They paid for my certification for a sommelier, a level 1 sommelier. And from that small, below minimum wage job actually, I was put on a trajectory to go to where I am now. My goal is to keep working in a restaurant business and someday become the master sommelier, so that this poor minority kid from Jersey can wear that suit with that big gold pin and be one of a few hundred on earth master sommeliers. I'm not really concerned for myself because I'll survive no matter what. I'm worried about that other snotty-nosed little teenager who wants to get their feet on the bum up to where I've been and where I'm going to go. This is a door of opportunity that is going to be shut because they can't hire inexperienced people at $15 an hour. It is going to create an entire class of unemployable citizens, disproportionate amount of whom are going to be minorities. I urge everyone, City Council, and the citizenry of Seattle to see this as a social justice issue, and that $15 an hour hurts the people it intends to help. Thank you.
My name is Destiny Sund, and I am co-owner of The Confectional in Seattle, Washington. We own 3 locations in the Armory, Pike Place Market, that's our flagship store, and on Broadway. I am co-owner with my best friend, Paul, and in 2006, I decided to leave marketing and join my best friend in a cheesecake venture. This decision was made because I had been through 7 marketing layoffs and enough was enough, and I cooked him a great dinner and I told him I would rather mop floors and wash dishes than look for another marketing job. So that is how The Confectional was born. Currently we have 11 employees. I make not as much as what I was making in the corporate world, and my best friend and business partner, Paul, makes nothing. We enjoy very much being a part of the Seattle community. We enjoy very much this beautiful city and being job creators. We refer to our employees as a confectional family. Their input is extremely valuable to us, and we absolutely love seeing people grow up and move on, and use the confectional as a decision maker for the rest of their lives, what they would like to do. We have been I've just really enjoyed being a part of their lives. I feel that this $15 an hour minimum wage increase is going to be devastating for my employees, but I factually know that it will be devastating for my business. When I sat down and I worked the numbers, this will increase our payroll over $40,000. Last year we lost $27,000. We've been in business since 2006. Lots of money has come in from our friends, our family, and we have an SBA loan. We are currently working on becoming a profitable business. We'd like the chance to try. And $15 an hour will immediately shut down over half of our business. We will lose half of our employees. And Paul and I will go back to Pike Place Market where we started, and we will wash dishes and mop floors together. This is not what we envisioned for the future. It's something akin to signing a lease on an apartment and saying it's $600 a month now, but in 2 years it's going to go up 60%. Nobody would sign a lease like that. And there's a tipping point in business, and $15 an hour, unfortunately, is that tipping point. I'm fighting for my employees. I'm not fighting for our business. Why wouldn't I go work for McDonald's if I was going to make $15 an hour there, or go work for Walmart? We would like to keep Seattle a rich, vibrant city, and part of that is the small businesses that it has. Everybody likes going to their corner bar after work, and everybody has their favorite restaurants or retail stores, and these stores are barely making it. Restaurants have a 4% profit margin. If we were to look at implementing 11, 12, 13, 14, doing this in steps, that would be almost the worst thing that could happen to my business, because we would try to make it work. We would try for maybe a year or 2 years, and we would still not be profitable. My business partner still wouldn't be paid, and it could seriously compromise the entire business, as opposed to going immediately to $15 an hour. We know we have a plan for that, but anything less, we would try to make work, and unfortunately, it's not going to be enough.
With me wanting to bring on a new employee, I can't afford a $15 minimum wage. I've been in business for 5 years, and I'm just now getting to the point where I can bring on an employee. And so with the $15 minimum wage, I can't do that and commit to giving her a good amount of hours where she can make a decent, even a base pay, or even not even a decent living, but she'd have to have another job. She couldn't just rely on me.
So whereas for some businesses it's an issue of if it goes up to $15 an hour, they're going to close and have to lose employees. For you, it's more that there's no way that you'll be able to add an employee.
Absolutely, and even a front desk person and somebody managing other employees, I can't do that at $15 an hour. And of course, I would love to be able to grow my business so I can pay my employees more money every year and give them raises. But if you have a minimum wage of $15 an hour, that's your ceiling. Like, that's what people coming out of trade schools are making. You know, my cousin was just saying, I'm a dental assistant, and I spent time and money to do that, and I started at $15 an hour. You know, so she invested. She spent the time. She took the loans to do that, you know, and so I couldn't just start giving somebody that. There's no way. It's wrong in principle because it's a free market, and it's up to the employee to be the business to decide, obviously based on what the government says. We have a minimum wage. It's a fair minimum wage. It's the highest in the country right now. Okay, so based on that, it's up to the employee, one, to have the skills to have the job, and to allow for the business person to give the opportunity for them to grow. You know, if they want to follow a path of they get more education, or even if they want to work really hard, you know, you have room for growth at the minimum wage we have now, and you have a way to live and pay bills at the minimum wage we have right now. Okay, so in terms of it applying to all businesses, so it should apply to all businesses, whether small or large, because it's a matter of principle, you know, and so we shouldn't get an exemption just because we don't make as much money, so therefore we can pay our employees less. Our employees are still our employees. They're still people. Everyone is still a person, and they are, I don't want to use the word entitled because they're not entitled, but they should be treated equally in terms of how much money a company has to give them or not.
But you recognize also that if it's an equal minimum wage, it will impact small businesses disproportionately. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Extremely. Bigger businesses can definitely take the hit and can compensate for it. But small businesses, like Eric even, he'll go out of business. He brings in money. And not only him going out of business, he also is... 4 women are losing their jobs. For me, I don't have employees yet, and I'd like to have employees, but I can't afford to have employees or grow. So therefore, essentially, what's the point in having a business? Why would you even have a business if you can't grow? So it's actually kind of devastating.
I know a lot of people are concentrating on this issue of having a tiered minimum wage, some larger for big businesses, smaller for small businesses, and I've highlighted my own situation just to highlight it and explain to people that not every owner of a business is a multimillionaire, and that you can just take some of the money. I also agree that the minimum wage should just be a fixed amount for all the different businesses, if at all. It is not fair, and I wouldn't want to endorse having a different minimum wage for McDonald's or Costco or anything else versus me. I think it ought to be a fair playing field for everybody. With that said, I am highlighting the fact that if the minimum wage were to jump to $15 an hour immediately, my expectation is that some of these larger companies have deep enough pockets that they might be able to weather the storm, and small people like me and Courtney are going to be out of business, and you're going to have the opposite effect of what you intended. You're going to have driven out of business a lot of the small guys, and you're going to get what a lot of you don't want to have, which is more of just these big chain businesses.
Right now, being here tonight just shows the effect that this whole entire thing is having on other industries. I'm from the skincare industry. Eric has retail, your production. You guys don't even live in the city of Seattle, but we see the bigger picture of it and how it's going to affect the entire city, the entire state. And so it's so important that we all come together and speak out about this, because it does affect other industries. It affects everything.
And I'd like to add to that. It's not just thinking and worrying that it's going to come my way. 2 weeks ago, I sent emails to all 9 Seattle City Council members stating my displeasure with the fact that at their first meeting, they weren't even giving the appearance of trying to be impartial. It seemed already that they were heading down a certain path, and the City Council spokesperson at that meeting was acting like, yes, we're going to do this. And anyway, I sent out emails to that effect, and just yesterday, I got an email back from Councilperson Burgess, I think his name is, and what he said in his email was, as far as he's concerned, this isn't just a City of Seattle issue. His agenda is to extend this into broader King County and to also broader Puget Sound. So if there's any businesses that are outside of Seattle in the area and they don't think this is going to apply to them, you're wrong about that. It is a concerted effort, and they are coming after you as well.
Hi, my name is Pascal Tran. I'm a former business owner. I used to own a Fifth Avenue Optical in downtown Seattle, on 5th and Pike, right below Palomino Restaurant. And at the time, I paid my staff beginning at $12 an hour, because that's what the downtown Seattle light would cost a living then for them. And then I go up to $13 after I see what happened. But I'm looking at right now on the $15 an hour minimum wage is I think it's going to hurt a lot of small business, because they hire people who lack less education, and people just finish high school or maybe don't even have high school. They get paid like $8, $9. I don't know what's the minimum wage now. In federal, it's like under $8, and our state is like $10 an hour or so. It's not a lot, but it's just because that's a minimum wage for the people who's starting out. My daughter have a 2 degree in. Let me see. She has 2 degree. She graduated from UW with 2 degree, Bachelor of Science, Public Health, and Bachelor of Art of Medical Anthropology. And she just got accepted to Boston for get her graduate degree. And right now she's working and she making about 32 grand a year. That's about $15.50 an hour. And with 2 college degree from UW and making $15 an hour. So I don't think the $15 an hour minimum wage is fair for anyone because you have to earn it. And to be honest with you, I love it. I don't have a job right now, sincerely. I don't have a job. I'm a business owner. If I got $15 an hour, I guarantee to make $30,000 a year. Everybody gonna say that it's gonna help the welfare people gonna get off welfare, but it's not gonna do that. It's just gonna attract a lot of not very smart people into our state to get a job here. And that will hurt our economy even worse. Because our state is known to be the most educated people in the U.S. And you don't want to attract a lot of people who not really want to work. We want people to thriving to work, not people just to get by. This is not who we are. And that's my take on that. And please vote no for under $10 an hour is okay, but 15 is overkill. Thank you.